Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is the last day of Mass Make March, which is hosted by Cindy at Studio Lou. She's here on YouTube at Studio Lou and also on Instagram at Studio Lou. If you are participating, please make sure that you share on social media and use the hashtag MassMakeMarch2023. And just as a programming note, you don't have to think that you can't participate now that March is over. I mean, feel free to take this and do it in another month, or just pick a day or a couple of days or a week and then use this prompt and then follow along as well. So it's not like there's a hard stop at the end of March. I am certainly going to be referring back to this an awful lot because I got tremendous value out of it. So that's the commercial. Not going to do die cuts or punched elements. I don't have any die cutting equipment, and that is okay. I don't need any more equipment. I don't need any more equipment. I don't need any more equipment. I am just repeating that just to convince myself that I don't need any more equipment. And punched elements, I sort of punch as I go, and that is okay. So what I am going to do instead is I am going to, I guess, talk about my experience with Mass Make March, and I am also going to reorganize this list into some categories. Now, for anybody who is new, I do this from time to time. I do it a lot. I do a lot of documentation of what is happening with my journals, what I liked, what I didn't like, and thinking about it from a process standpoint so that it can be shared and become more accessible to more people, because there is a lot of individual floating elements out in the junk journaling world, and it is hard, particularly if you're new or if you have cognitive issues and mental health issues, to be able to keep any of that straight. So writing it down, putting the information in the world helps a lot of people, and so that's one of my objectives. First thing, I think we are going to take this list of categories. So we had originally, again to sort of catch anybody up, we've talked about the journaling process as going from, okay, I'm gonna get rid of this for a minute, do that. I'm just gonna start my timer. Here we are. You go from the cover, you have some attachment, which can be like a pocket or a paper clip or something. You have the writing space, which is going to be something like a tag or a postcard or a journaling place. You have decorative elements, which are things like clusters, tabs, labels, and so forth. You have fancies, which are things like ribbons down the side. They don't, what's the difference between a decorative element and a fancy? A fancy is fabric, I think, or fabric or jewelry, because I have jewelry, lace trims, and ribbons. So this is sort of, and this is going to be paper, more paper, it's papery, more fabric. And then journal pages, which is a version of the writing space, but let us put so the cover goes to the journal pages. That's how that goes. And then supplies for making, which are things like washi tape, ink, glue, and so forth, and we didn't manufacture any of those, which is totally fine. So we've got our categories. And even as I am thinking about this now, I wish I had an Excel spreadsheet, but let's not do that because that's just going to hurt somebody. I'm going to do that. So my first general comment is I loved this to the power of the sun. I loved it because, why? Because this sheet was generated, and I love this as a fundamental summary of key components of junk journaling. So that's one of the things. I really enjoyed my time doing the making of these things. I enjoyed watching everybody else's videos. I think I made a couple of friends doing this process, so that is always, always, always the best. What else did I really adore? So a general commercial pitch from me to you, Cindy. If you do this again next year, I am totally on board. I would love for that to happen. I completely appreciate that it took you a ton of time. It took you 31 hours to do all the filming of this, but I know as well as anybody who does junk journaling and filming on YouTube that you would have had to think about it, plan it, assemble all of the materials and so forth. And there is a lot of behind the scenes time that is spent to host, launch, and execute one of these things. So from me to you, thank you so much for doing that, because like I say, this has been one of my fundamental challenges that has improved me as an artist, and also helped me understand what I like and what I don't like, as well as I got some spare stuff that we can play with. So that's pretty exciting. I need another swig of tea. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So what do I want to do? So I want to take each one of these and I want to categorize it into one of these categories. So I don't know that we did any journal pages. I don't know that we did any cover, but we did attachments, writing spaces, decorating elements, and maybe fancies. Also, for anybody who is new, making attachments is critical to making a journal that contains all of these extra writing spaces. So you need pockets, you need pockets. And if you're doing a standard journal, one like say Gail does, that's about 15 pages, I think she uses about 12. So her is 15 pages, 12 elements, design elements. Those are almost entirely pockets. So the making of pockets is a really important part of making journals, if that's the kind of journal that you are looking to make. As always, you do you. This is not prescriptive. This is just a summary so you can think about it easier and do what you would like to do instead. You can add, drop, delete, change. It's no never mind to me. Having said all of that, let's get started. So I think there's going to be attachments, writing space, fancies, nope, decorating elements, and fancies. So already I want to change this. So I am creating Excel. Wonder if we can do 31 lines. Let's see if we can. Yep, so we're going to create a grid. I could have prepared this beforehand. I get that. But I didn't. Ooh, I'll do it this way. I feel like I should do this in pen because we are probably going to be doing some erasing. I'm going to have to move that one over. That's okay. And then move that one over as well. we are. Put that down. It's writing space, attachments. There we are, and this is what's okay, so we'll get there. We're getting there. Let's do a bunch of lines, just so that we can pitter-patter. It is chucking it down raining again. Yay us. But at least we don't have to shovel it. Yes, I definitely could have prepared this beforehand. I'm rather sad that it's over too. I have a huge catch up on Rachel at Roxy Creations weekly challenge. I believe after this video I can do the Apple Journal flip through because I finished that. Super exciting. And then immediately after that, again for all of you new people, the way I figure out what journal I am going to make, I use dice. I throw dice and I use a very random selection method, which is both thrilling and terrifying. And it has, it helps with my creativity because I get focused on whatever. I don't have to think about what I'm going to do. It is sort of given to me as a challenge. And that decision fatigue doesn't happen as regularly. Okay, so got some lines. Now then, number 1, journal cards. Predominantly a writing space. 2, tags. Also a writing space. 3, pockets. 100% attachment. And while I understand that a journal card can be a pocket as well, if you attach it a certain way, you can sometimes have very sophisticated ones where you have like a pocket inside a tag. I am talking about the very basic element. And again, this is, you bring your creativity to this and you do you. That is totally okay. This is for the purposes of sort of summarizing, for the purposes of simplicity. And I recall being very excited that we got pockets. 4 belly bands. 100% a pocket. It's an attachment. 5 is a fabric flip. That is a fancy. Is it a fancy? Yes, it is. That's what I'm going to call it anyways. It could also be considered a decorative element, but a decorative element is more paper, and this is jewels and fabric. So I'm going to put it under there. 5, 6 clusters. Clusters is a decorating element. 7 is a page tab. I can't remember this one. Not a huge surprise. Page tab. It's either one of these two. It's either a decorating element or a fancy. We can totally cheat. No, it's going to go in one or the other. Otherwise, I'm just going to... A page tab. A page tab is likely going to be more of a decorative element because it is likely going to be paper, but it could be whatever. It's an 8. Oh. Altered paper clips is an attachment. I really enjoyed doing those. I had a tremendous time. I needed them for the journal that I was making, and I also had insight into how to do them far more efficiently, and so that's pretty great. 9, flip and tip outs. I'm going to say that's an attachment. It also could be writing space, and it also could be a decorative element. 10, booklets. It's writing space. Oh, button cards. I'm going to say that is a fancy, because it is made with buttons, though it could be a decorating element. I also loved the button cards. Anything to do with fabric, I think, was a significant hit with me, as well as anything to do with pocketing, because I am obsessed with pockets now that I realize that I need a lot of them. So 11, 12 greeting cards. What do we do with greeting cards? I think we made them into writing space. I think this was jelly printing, and I think there was also a lot of scope for imagination with greeting cards, though I don't think I made any. I really appreciated that as a process. Oh, 13 shaker cards! Starry stars. They are very fancy writing spaces. Love shaker cards. Love them, love them, love them. 14 notepads. Is our writing space. 15 collage boards. This can be all of those things legitimately. So this is actually creating a raw material. No, she doesn't call them raw material, base. And by base material, I mean that once you have the collage board, you have a fairly large size that you can then say, okay, I am going to create a pocket. I'm going to create a writing space. I'm going to use bits of it to do a decorating element. So it has, this legitimately can be across the board here. 16 postcards. There's a writing space. 17. This was exciting to me because that's the first time that I've been able to use Rolodex cards, so that was very exciting to me. This is sort of another kind of like the collage boards, but I'm going to say that it was a pocket. 18 envelopes, 19 floating pockets, could be a pocket, 20 tuck spot, I need some more lines, just a few. I think I've got more than I need, but that's okay. Here. Where are we? 2021. CD envelopes. 22 washi tapes. I'm going to say that is a decorative element. 23 tickets. Decorative element. 24 snippet strips. Now she did two. She did a paper snippet strip and a fabric snippet strip. They all go in there. And this probably gets a double star for me. This is half of the snippet strip, fabric snippet strip that I made. And I love this to the power of two suns, not just one sun. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This to me was a flashpoint of insight into what I love to make and what I love to visually and texturally feel. So this is, it's a snippet strip. It is just fabric, and it's got these beautiful points of lace interest and fiber interest and material color interest, and love, 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 love. I have also made a paper strip, nowhere near the affection. This was to me just the bee's knees, and I loved it so. Oh, I just verklempt. So excited about this. Let's just put this over here. It's just a fancy reminder. 24, 25. Over page cards. I'm going to say that's one of those. 26. Fussy cut. Faux stickers. This was useful to me as well as a reminder of the fussy cut options. You don't have to cut it exactly on the edge. You can be kind to yourself and do a kiss cutting, which allows you to leave a little bit of a border, and that it's not writing space. That's why we did it in pencil. There we are. And that lessening of the need for precision is very helpful. 27 laminated cards. Liked this one a lot too. Even though I completely missed how I was supposed to do it the first time and I had to do a redo, I really like these. The redo forced me to think some more about other options. And so in junk journaling, as with in life, a lot of times a mistake isn't a place of failure, but a place where you can think about things a little bit differently. And that's what I am going to consider as my success. 28 hole reinforcers. They're sort of a jewelry in a weird way. Yeah, I'm gonna call them jewelry. 29 stamped elements. This is also another base material, and this one also gets double stars. So I loved this one. I was able to experiment with fabrics. This one is a sari silk. The clarity that you can get from a basic rubber stamp is tremendous. And you can create fabric clusters like this, which I love. I absolutely adore these. And these will be another staple, I think, because of they're connected with fabric, I think. So as I got to sort of this home stretch, I realized that there are things that I really love to do, and this sampling exercise is really an important method to get at what is it that I really like to do, what is it that I am not so fond of, what is it that I don't have equipment for and I'm not going to get that equipment. Conversely, what do I have the equipment for and how can I use it differently? Really, really great. I love this little headshot guy. I resisted printing him, and then ta-da, and look at him. He's just so adorbs. 29, 30 die cuts. This is a place where I 100% do not need to get a die cutting machine, and that is okay. And this is decorative element. And then 31 punched elements. And I would say this is also a base material. Not included in this list, but because I did this list, I had 2 additional things that I kind of mass made during the month. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is a paperclip. This is a paperclip, what do we call them? Altered paperclip. Like, oh. So, altered paperclip looks very much like these fabric tabs for not a shocking reason. So I was able to do them quite quickly because I had these done. I also did some mass making of some wax seals and just played around with that. And because we were doing mass making and there was a couple of days that I didn't do, I switched them out and I did this. So let us do a line here and do 32, which is wax seals. Love those. And it's one of these. And I also did fabric beads. because I needed them for my journal. And again, I had a skip day and I spent some time making those. So also, I would not have mass made them had I not had this as guidance. So that's also very helpful. What do I call them? Fabric beads. And fabric beads are fancy. Oops, there's a hole there. There they are. Oh, so I tried. This is the paper cluster. I keep trying to use it, but I keep rejecting it because it just doesn't fit or whatever. So it's not that I didn't do it, it's that I am having trouble using it. Put those away, put those aside. We're going to have to find a way of distinguishing those two. I'll put this aside. Now let's have a look at our list here. So we have 1, 2, 3 base creations, which are the collage boards, stamped elements, and punched elements. So if I were making a journal from scratch and I had this beside me as a place to consider, hey, there's probably going to be 100% of my journal could come from here, we could probably do that. So we would do the collage board, stamped elements, and punched elements first, because that gives us some base material. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pockets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at you! 9 writing spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. I knew there was a reason why I love this list, and that is 100% why. So this was created, this list is so helpful and is so incredibly well curated in terms of giving you just enough to do journals on a regular, if you did this from beginning to end for the month, you would have enough available to you to do complete journals very, very quickly, because you have enough of the elements of all the things that are required to do a journal. So the only struggle that you would have would be with the cover, make a cover, and then put in the journal pages. That is gold star in my world. Love, 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 love. So thank you very much again, Cindy, for hosting this. I have to say I got so much out of the event itself as well as the list, and I will carry this as part of my practice going forward. And possibly the most important part of this is I was able to make a couple of friends as a result of this. So that's consider it a wild success, and 100% from my end. And if my vote counts at all, I would love to do this again next year at some point. Anyways, that is all for now. Thank you again, Cindy, for everything. This really had a lot of value and meaning to me, and I so appreciate all the work that you did. And I also appreciate all the viewers that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have anything to say. Thanks so much. Bye now.